Day 3 of the search for Brooke Willburger, the 19-year-old who disappeared in Corvallis Monday afternoon. Hundreds of volunteers are helping with the search and handing out flyers with Brooke's description. K2's Deborah Knapp is in Corvallis tonight. Deb, what's changed in the search for Brooke?
Well, Natalie, more than 24 investigators are certainly working diligently on this case in a massive coordination effort with several law enforcement agencies as well as volunteers. More than 8,000 of those flyers with Brooke's face and description were passed out today. Officers searched nearby apartments and cars, hoping to come across any clues in Brooke's disappearance. More than 300 tips have been called in, but still they are left with little to nothing to go on 2 days after the abduction.
Well, we're well aware of, statistics, but we're also aware of very many cases that have resolved themselves in a very positive way. We won't speculate. We are continuing on with our investigation so that we can bring her home safe.
Now, the apartment complex where this happened is just over my shoulder. It is a stone's throw away from Research Stadium, and so campus police are really encouraging students to take extra precautions as they walk to and from class. Live in Corvallis, Deb Knapp, K2 News.
Here are a couple numbers you might want to jot down if you have any information about the whereabouts of Brooke Willburger. If you saw anything unusual Monday morning at the apartment complex at Southwest 26th Street in Western, please call this phone number. It's 541-766-6989. And if you're interested in helping in an effort to find Brooke, call 541-740-3640. In addition to needing volunteers to search, police also need volunteers to make phone calls and hand out flyers. Well, it has been 55 hours since Brooke Willburger disappeared, and every hour we know counts. As K2's John Capel reports, the key to finding Brooke is time, and the clock is ticking.
Hundreds of volunteers are searching fields, parks, and wooded areas for 19-year-old Brooke Willburger. But time, now, the greatest enemy.
Whatever's going to happen is probably going to happen within the first 24 hours.
The chilling reality of stranger abductions, say experts. Private investigator Darren Coates says we are nearly at the end of a critical window.
If you don't deal with it within 72 hours, then you probably are going to have some real problems. Things start to go cold on you.
Even more frightening, if the kidnapping ends in a homicide, 74%, 3 out of every 4 victims, are dead within 3 hours. Criminal profiler Dr. Frank Calistro says he hopes he is wrong about his analysis of the circumstances of Brooke Willburger's disappearance.
That puts me in mind of the Ted Bundy kind of serial offender MO.
Serial murderer Ted Bundy relied on charm and good looks to lure victims near college campuses. And like this case, it apparently took just seconds.
It could be as easy as driving up and doing the Ted Bundy thing. Excuse me, ma'am, I'm new in town. I'm looking for this place. Am I in the right part of town? Would you mind maybe looking at this street map? And boom, drag, gone.
Now, it may sound chilling, but profilers say the best hope for Brooke Willburger is if her abductor is a pattern offender, someone who's kidnapped before. It's the best chance investigators have to link the kidnapper to another case and a possible identity, and the best chance for the kidnapper to make a mistake. Live in the newsroom, John Capel, K2 News.
All right, John, thank you very much. Right now, we want to show you some home video that's just come into the K2 newsroom.
This is my home! Yay!
Hey, it is.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
This is the first video we've seen of Brooke since she disappeared. This video, obtained exclusively by K2, was shot by a close friend of Brooke's. It shows you can see a vibrant young woman enjoying life with her friends. Again, this is the first time we actually see and hear from Brooke.
The outpouring of support in the search for Brooke has been absolutely overwhelming, as you've been watching in the news the last couple of days. One organization helping the family in any way it can is the Child Seek Network of Wilsonville. Judy Maher started the Child Seek Network. She says it helps families by getting information out to the public, organizing vigils, and raising money for reward funds. Maher says most kids who disappear run away and that only 9% are abducted by strangers. But she says her gut tells her this case is different.
Somebody that is as brazen as whoever this person is that took Brooke to do something like that in the day, in a public parking lot like that, is willing to do something worse.
Mara says just one little tip, no matter how minor, could be the break detectives need to find Brooke and other missing children like her. She started that network just about 2 years ago after the disappearance of the Oregon City girls, Ashley Pond and Miranda Gaddis.
And for the mother of one of the murdered Oregon City girls, Brooke's disappearance, you can imagine, brings back painful memories of the months she spent wondering about her daughter. Tonight, in a 2 exclusive, we hear from the mother of Miranda Gaddis as she discusses the delays in her daughter's murder trial. Here's K2's Anna Song.
Again.
For Michelle Duffy, news of Brooke Willburger's disappearance is heartbreaking.
I just remember going through what her parents probably are going through.
It's been more than 2 years since Michelle's daughter Miranda turned up missing. Her body was later found along with the body of Ashley Pond in the backyard of their neighbor, Ward Weaver. A murder trial was set to begin next week, but last month Weaver was deemed mentally unfit and sent to the state mental hospital for treatment.
I can say it was very, very hard for me. I had a very hard time. That's why I wasn't there, because I knew it would be hard. And I know I have a gag order, and it was best I stayed home.
Michelle doesn't want to violate the gag order issued by the judge, forbidding those involved to talk about the case. But she would say this about the many times her daughter's murder trial has already been postponed.
I wish it would hurry and get done, because I feel like I can't move on until we're done with this. And you have to have a new normal. And until this is over, we're not going to be able to start our new normal. And my other kids are trying, but I just can't do it.
Michelle says her other children, Miranda's 2 sisters and a younger brother, are doing as well as they can, getting A's in school and staying busy with activities, but it's still hard for them.
You know, they still don't understand. They still ask questions. And I wish there was something I could tell them. I don't know the answers to most of their questions.
Questions she hopes will be answered once the man accused of killing her daughter stands trial for his charges. Anna Song, K2 News.
State Mental Hospital has until the end of July to treat Weaver and report back to the court about his condition. At that point, the judge will decide whether Weaver is mentally fit to go forward with trial.